So that completes the format of the standard form or canonical form. Now what we are left to do is transform that to the table, and everything else is similar to what we have learned in case of the simplex algorithm. Everything else remains unchanged. So we will just write down the first table and proceed. We'll discuss only the first table, and it will be left to the viewers to complete the problem with a certain note at the end of this lecture. So as we have written in the previous simplex table also, or previous video also, I will write there are a1 is a vector corresponding to x1, a2 is a vector corresponding to x2, and like that there are, for 7 variables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there are 7 variables. So for that we have denoted them as the 7 vectors as a1, a2, a7. So we will write the simplex table as CB, VB, XB, B, small b, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6 and A7 as for 7 vectors, and now top of B we will write CJ. So just recapitulating, what is CJ? CJ are the coefficient of the variables in the objective function, maximize the objective function here. So CJ, A1 means x1's coefficient is -3, so I have written it here. A2 means x2's coefficient is +5, so I have written it here. A3 is x3, coefficient is -1, I have written it here. A4, A5, these are the S2 and S3, their coefficients are 0. CS, A6 and A7 are my artificial variables, their coefficients in the objective function is -m and -m, so I have written -m and -m here. So this is CJ. Now in this particular part is the matrix A matrix as we have defined, or the coefficient matrix of the constraints. So that is 1, 3, 1, 2, 2, -5. So 1, 3, 1, 2, 2, -5, -3, 3, 2, -3, 3, 2, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, -1, 0, 0, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 1. So 0, 0, 1. So that part is written over here. And B is the right hand side. So right hand side of the, so that is 12, 20 and 6. 12, 20 and 6 as B. Now this is the important part. So VB, as we have defined it earlier, VB is the vectors in the basis. So what are the basic vectors or basic variables? Those vectors which are having the format of standard unit matrix, or that is 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0 and 0, 0, 1. So 1, 0, 0 will come first. 1, 0, 0, A6 has the coefficients as 1, 0, 0. So A6 at the top. Then 0, 1, 0 is A4. So A4 at the middle. And 0, 0, 1 is A7 is having 0, 0, 1. So A7 at the bottom. So vectors in the basis are A6, A4 and A7. In that order, mind that 1, 0, 0 will come at the top, 0, 1, 0 will come at the middle, and 0, 0, 1 will come at the end. And the XB is the corresponding basic variables. So A6 corresponds to basic variable is A1, capital A1. A4 corresponding basic variable is SAG variable S2, and A7 corresponding basic variable is artificial variable A3. And CB, if you remember, CB is the coefficient of the basic variables in the objective function. So A1's coefficient in the objective function is -m, so I have written -m here. A2's coefficient in the objective function is 0, so I have written 0 over here. And finally A3's coefficient in the objective function is -m, so I have written -m. So in this case CB will be -m, 0 and -m. So that completes the putting of the writing the matrix in properly. And if you have made any mistake in writing this particular matrix, then whatever you do afterward, it will not make any sense and it will be a futile exercise. So okay, as I've said, I will only repeat this particular one iteration. I'll just to recapitulate whatever we have done in simplex. We'll just repeat only for this particular table, and I'll leave you students to proceed it further and complete the problem with the same, following the same logic. And as in case of simplex, here also in B game also the optimum condition is all Zj minus Cj has to be greater than equals to 0. So for that reason we will be calculating Zj minus Cj, or sometimes it is referred to as delta J. So there are different ways defined in books in different way. Different people say different way. So if you are writing Zj minus Cj, then if all Zj minus Cj are greater than equals to 0, then the solution will be optimum. Somebody likes to write Cj minus Zj, that also has the same meaning, but in that case the condition will be all Cj minus Zj will be all less than equals to 0. Then that will be the optimum condition. But I prefer to write as Zj minus Cj. So we will calculate Zj minus Cj. And here I just mention one thing. So if you have seen that I have put a mark divider in after B, and I have started writing Zj minus Cj. Actually, you can calculate some value under B also in the same, but no Cj will be sub. So if you multiply this into this, this into this, plus this into this, that will be getting the value of Z. Under the B column, if you write something over here, say this will be minus 12m minus 6m. That means here it is minus 18m. So minus 18m is the value of Z and not Zj minus Cj. Some teachers, faculties prefer to write some value over here, but that value is only of the value of Z, current value of Z, and all other values, those are there under the columns of the different vectors are the values of Zj minus Cj. So how the Zj minus Cj is obtained? So this is Cb into the corresponding vector, Cb into Ai, and we will do this into this, plus this into this, plus this into this, will give you Cb, not Cb, actually Cb transpose into so this is minus m into 1 is minus m, 0 into 3 plus minus m into 1, so that gives you minus 2m minus 3, so that gives you minus 2m plus 3. Then next one is minus 2m 0 plus 5m minus, so minus 2m plus 5m gives you plus 3m minus 5, so minus plus 3m minus 5. This one is minus 3m, sorry, this one is minus m minus 3 means plus 3m minus 2m, so plus m minus 1 gives you plus m plus 1, and similarly these values will be calculated. So most negative, because m itself is a very big value, so this is a most negative value. M itself is, say if it is 1000, so that means it's minus 2000 plus 3, that gives you 1997, minus 1997, so it's a very big negative number. So all Zj minus Cj's are not greater than equals to 0. So this is a solution is not optimum, so you have to improve that. For that we have to choose the most negative. In case of a tie, you can break the tie arbitrarily. Means Zj minus Cj, if there are two most negative values, you can choose any one of them, so tie can be broken arbitrarily. So this is the entering vector, and similarly we calculate the ratio, so that is B, the ratio is the column, B column will be divided by the corresponding entering vectors. So this is 12 by 1 is 12, 20 by 3 is 6 point something, and 6 by 1 is 6, so most minimum value is 6. That means this corresponding vector goes out. So I have marked the outgoing vector and mark the incoming vector. So I put this arrow inside and putting this arrow outside, which says this is going away. So A3 goes out, and in place of A3, A1 gets into the next table. And so this one element is the pivot, and similarly, so that means in the next table this will be 0, 0, 1, and all the corresponding changes will be done as we have done in case of simplex. We can use either matrix row transformation method or the formula that we have given earlier, that was the formula that new element equals to old element minus p into q by pivot, where p is equal to the corresponding element in the pivotal row and q is the corresponding element in the pivotal column. Or if mathematics students, most of the students who understand or who knows the row transformation method, that they can use the row transformation method. Using the pivotal row, we have to change to make the corresponding other values as 0 in that particular, in the column of pivotal column. The pivot will remain as 1 and other values in the pivotal column will be 0. So you have to use row transformation to make the other values in the pivotal column as 0. So simply, like for example, you can say that to use this row 3 on row 1 to make this value 0, simply subtract from R1, subtract R3. So new R1 will be R1 dash is R1 minus R3. That's the row transformation. And here R2 dash means new second row. I mean means so in the next table the second row will be obtained by how we can use this row to make this 0. So that means this row will be multiplied by 3 and subtracted from the second row. So this is how we'll write, that is R2 minus 3R3. So that gives you this 0 and that corresponding. So this two are the actual row transformation methods, row transformation way of doing it. Either you do this or you can use the formula that we have given to calculate all other values, and it will, and then again we will be calculating the Zj minus Cj, and corresponding changes are done, and we calculate the Zj minus Cj, and this process will be repeated unless all the Zj minus Cj are greater than or equals to 0. If all Zj minus, when all Zj minus Cj are greater than or equals to 0, the solution will be optimum, and we write down the solution accordingly. We write down from the B column, we get the solution of the xb column values, and finally write as we have said. Now here it is to be noted that generally speaking, most of the time when we use the Chance-Begum method, generally speaking, initially the artificial variables goes out from the basis, and ultimately we get a solution where there is no artificial variable remains. We get the solution most of the time involves the original variables that were there in the original problem, and maybe sometimes there would have been some slack or surplus variable. So slack, if ultimately there in the final table, if in the final table slack or surplus variable remains, then that does not have any effect, because in the objective function their coefficient is 0, so that they do not have any effect in the objective function. But unfortunately, if artificial variable remains and with some value, like the problem that we have solved, we have got the in the final table we have got all of them are greater than or equals to 0, but we have got an artificial variable having value 88 by 17. So here in the final table, artificial variable remained with a non-zero value. If that happens, then the solution is infeasible. So that means if we put the value of a1 there, and that means we will be getting the value of z in terms of m, and m is not defined, and m is a large value, and that gives him it's infeasible. So ultimately in the final table, a artificial variables should not be there to get any value of the objective function. And if at all a artificial variable remains in the final simplex table, then it must be of value 0, otherwise the solution will be infeasible. But that's an exceptional case, in case of an infeasible solution. But if the solution exists, then artificial variables will not be there in the final simplex table. When we do so, it has to be meant. So it has to be kept in mind that it has to be kept in mind that when artificial variables has to be to get a solution of the objective function, artificial variables must not be there, or if it is there in the final simplex table, it should be of label 0. So I hope you have understood the BEGIN method, and try to complete the problem. Thank you.